You've arrived at Creatures Mysteries, the channel where legends find their voice, where forgotten beings rise from the shadows, and where every story makes you question everything you believe to be real. Here, the impossible isn't a limit, it's an invitation. From legendary monsters to entities science insists on denying, we explore what's been buried, silenced, or erased from history. Each episode is a journey between myth and fear, between what we know and what we pretend not to see. I'm Uncle Danny, your guide on this descent into the unknown. And if you feel there's something beyond what we've been told, something that pulses in the depths of the world and the human mind, then you're in the right place. Prepare yourself to enter where reason ends and mystery begins. Before we start, comment below and tell me from which city or country you're watching. I want to feel how far this mystery has reached. Now, take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear isn't just a story. There are places on this planet where light has never touched, depths where the pressure would crush any known living creature, and the silence is so dense it almost has weight. Beyond 6,000 meters, the ocean ceases to be blue. It becomes black, thick, almost solid. A realm that doesn't seem to belong to Earth, and yet, something lives there. Scientists call this abyss the Hadal Zone, an invisible territory covering more than half the planet. Yet humankind knows less about it than the surface of the moon. Down there, the laws of biology seem to fail, and life takes on impossible forms. And it's in that place where time dissolves that the mystery begins. For decades, only machines have ventured that deep. Robots equipped with cameras that often return damaged, recording metallic noises and shadows that made no sense. Some engineers swore they saw reflections of eyes staring back at them from the dark. Others deleted the footage before anyone could start asking questions. Because the abyss isn't just a physical space. It's a mental frontier. Every meter downward is a dive into human uncertainty. And the deeper you go, the thinner the line between the real and the impossible becomes. It was there in that absolute void that something awakened. It all began with a sound. A recording captured by a deep-sea surveillance station in the South Pacific. Sound waves that echoed across more than 3,000 kilometers. Too low for any known animal, and powerful enough to shake military sensors. The noise became known as the bloop. For years, the official explanation was cracking ice in the polar caps. But experts in bioacoustics insisted the pattern was organic. Something alive and enormous had moved in the dark, and made the entire ocean vibrate. Months later, probes from a private research company detected silhouettes moving at impossible speeds. Sonar readings revealed an elongated, almost serpentine shape, with bursts of heat suggesting metabolic activity, not machinery. But before any of it could be released, access was blocked. The team was ordered to remain silent. All data vanished from the servers within 24 hours. One engineer, speaking anonymously, said, "It wasn't a malfunction, it was a presence." And the ocean, once again, fell silent as if waiting. When the signals returned, a small independent group decided to act on their own. Divers, oceanographers, and technicians, all driven by the same obsession: to discover what lived below the reach of light. They called it Project Leviathan. The chosen point lay 400 kilometers off the coast of Chile, a region where compasses went wild and radios lost signal. The seafloor there seemed to swallow everything that approached. The team installed thermal cameras, floodlights, and long-range transmitters, but no one truly knew if that would be enough. For hours, the sea remained calm. The silence felt like the ocean itself was watching, waiting. Then came the first anomalies: circular movements, rising pressure, and a deep vibration echoing through the hull. The platform lights began to flicker, as if something was draining its energy. The final transmission captured a colossal shadow, slowly ascending through the sonar beam. It looked as if the seafloor itself was rising. Then the feed cut off. None of the divers were ever heard from again. For a few seconds, the deep cameras came back online. Between static and flashes of light, something massive crossed the frame. First, a texture scales reflecting the shimmer of the spotlight. Then, an eye vast and motionless, the size of a man. It didn't look. It watched with an ancient calm. This body defied all logic. Part fish, part reptile, part something that resembled molten metal. Each movement created currents that distorted the water around it, as if the entire ocean was breathing with it. It was alive and aware. Sensors picked up a sudden spike in pressure. The sound rose, deep and thunderous, vibrating in the operator's chests above. The submarine's frame began to creak, crushed from within. Before total collapse, one final image appeared. A whirl of bioluminescent lights spiraling around the creature. Then silence. The screens went black. The sea closed again, swallowing every trace of the expedition. What resurfaced were only fragments of metal, and a corrupted audio file, with a single distorted voice whispering, "She's awake." Hours after contact was lost, unidentified ships arrived. Men in unmarked uniforms sealed off the perimeter. The expedition vessel was towed away under escort, and any attempt to contact the media was immediately blocked. Radio waves from the entire region vanished. Days later, the Chilean government declared the area a seismic instability zone. But satellite images told another story. Strange movements, equipment being dropped into the sea, metal structures rising at night. A leaked report months later stated that the location emitted abnormal magnetic pulses. No one could explain what that meant. Families of the divers received discrete compensations, along with non-disclosure contracts that have never been broken. But one technician fled the country and shared what he knew with the independent press. According to him, the videos of the creature still exist, locked inside a restricted military server. The real reason for the secrecy, he said, was not fear of public panic but of confirmation. The confirmation that the ocean might harbor intelligent beings, older than humanity itself, and that perhaps they are still watching us. With the silence of authorities, the scientific community could only speculate. Some believe the Leviathan was a prehistoric survivor, a remnant of a lineage older than the dinosaurs. Others suggest something darker, a mutation born of the abyss itself, molded by darkness and isolation. For decades, the oceans have absorbed tons of toxic waste and radiation. The abyss is a natural laboratory cut off from the rest of the world. Down there, life could have followed a different path, a silent, hostile evolution. But others believe it is older than evolution. Ancient Sumerian and Gnostic texts speak of beings of the deep, sleeping guardians beneath the waters, keepers of balance who would awaken. If humanity ever violated the ocean's sacred order, they called them the Anunnaki of the tides, gods who would rise when the deep was disturbed. So what if what was seen wasn't a creature but a messenger? A warning from the depths, reminding us that not everything should be explored. The sea always returns what is taken sooner or later. Maybe science labeled as anomaly, what ancient civilizations already knew as the vengeance of the waters. Years have passed since the disappearance of Project Leviathan. But the ocean never forgets, it only changes tone. In 2023, seismic sensors in the Pacific detected vibrations identical to the bloop. But this time the sound moved toward the coast. Fishermen reported torn nets and overturned boats on calm nights. Port cameras captured submerged lights, moving in circular patterns before fading into the deep. A Japanese research vessel lost contact for 19 minutes, and when communications resumed, the captain described a blue flash beneath the hull. In oceanography and sonar forums, new reports appeared, files of strange acoustic interference, long, hypnotic sounds where one can almost hear breathing. Some call it a hoax, others the second contact. The most disturbing detail, all incidents occurred along the same path, an invisible line connecting Chile, Easter Island, and the Mariana Trench, as if something colossal were moving silently beneath the planet. And for some experts, there is no doubt. The Leviathan didn't die. It's migrating. The sea has memory. And when it's wounded, it doesn't respond with anger but with silence. A silence that grows, that vibrates, that calls. In recent weeks, oceanographers have recorded rhythmic pulses, coming from the deepest trenches, as if the ocean itself had started to breathe. The pulses follow a pattern. Every 24 hours, a low-frequency wave circles the globe, making compasses tremble and shutting down devices in distant ports. No one can trace its exact origin, but everyone agrees the epicenter is the same as the old Leviathan site. Satellite images reveal massive whirlpools forming out of nowhere, in regions with no volcanic activity. Witnesses describe columns of blue vapor rising from the calm sea at night, as if the ocean were exhaling life or releasing something imprisoned. And more, the world seems to be hearing a sound it doesn't want to hear. The sound is deep, low, almost human. Not thunder, not machine. Breathing. A colossal inhale followed by a drawn-out moan, powerful enough to travel through miles of water and steel. Captains describe the sensation of being watched from beneath the keel. Reports multiply missing fishermen, monitoring buoys torn from the seabed, ocean currents shifting direction overnight. It's as if the entire sea were moving by its own will, as if something within it had awakened and was changing the planet's rhythm. Ancient cultures might have known what we're only beginning to grasp. The Mayans, the Polynesians, the Greeks all spoke of the gods of the sea, entities that slept until humanity broke its pact with the waters. They called them the silent guardians, beings that kept balance between the world of light and the world of shadow. And what if the Leviathan is the first to return? Not as a monster but as a messenger, a living reflection of the planet's wrath, sent to remind us that the ocean doesn't belong to us. We belong to it. And perhaps we're not the dominant species we believe ourselves to be. Tonight, the sea rests, but the calm is just a disguise. Beneath the surface, an ancient intelligence pulses patient, infinite. It watches, calculates, waits, and one day maybe soon the abyss will open again. And when it does, the whole world will hear the sound of its awakening. What if the Leviathan isn't a myth, but the echo of something that still lives among us? Do you believe the ocean is just water, or a mind that has been dreaming for millions of years? Tell me in the comments what you think hides in the deep. I'm Uncle Danny, and this is Creatures Mysteries, where fear has a voice and the impossible takes form.